Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something I know a lot of you are thinking about.
hmm
How do you find those, winning niches for print on demand? Especially for things like merch by Amazon, maybe KDP too?
Yeah, MBA for shirts, KDP for books, other stuff. It's a common question.
Exactly. And you're here because you want to learn quickly, right?
Really?
Get the important stuff without getting totally buried in information.
Yep.
So our mission today is basically to pull out the most useful strategies for niche research. We're focusing on practical tools, forward-thinking methods you can actually use.
Right. We've waded through some recent discussions for you, focusing on two key YouTube sources.
Okay.
First up, we'll look at a research tool called Merch Dominator, see what potential it has.
Merch Dominator. Got it.
And second, we're going to dive into a specific strategy. It's about scaling your merch account by sort of targeting predictable seasonal demand.
Okay. Predictable demand. Interesting. Let's unpack this then. Starting with Merch Dominator. Now, the person in the video we watched mentioned it was free when they recorded.
Yeah, which is always a plus, right? A free starting point is great.
Definitely. They showed off quite a few features, but the bestseller function really stood out to me.
Okay, yeah. The bestseller function. What's important there is it shows you the top-selling T-shirts on Merch by Amazon. They're ranked by BSR bestseller rank.
Right. Lower BSR means selling more often.
Exactly. Amazon doesn't give exact sales numbers, but, generally a BSR under 100,000 means it's selling pretty consistently. It's a quick snapshot of what's hot.
hmm
But the real power, I think, is in the filters, the advanced filters.
How so?
Well, you can narrow things down by BSR range, number of reviews, and this is crucial. You can filter out the huge brands like Hello Kitty, SpongeBob, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So you can focus on niches where independent creators actually have a shot.
Precisely. You're not just seeing licensed stuff dominate the results.
And they should searching by keywords too, right? Like if you want to look for funny dog designs.
Yeah. See what's doing well in that space. Plus, you can switch marketplaces. US, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Japan. Gives you a global view.
That's handy. And filter by product type, not just teas.
Right. And sorting options, too. Newest, oldest, even random.
Random. How's that useful?
Well, it could spark unexpected ideas, maybe break you out of looking at the same kinds of things all the time.
Huh. Interesting thought.
But maybe more strategically useful is sorting by newest within the seller trends feature.
Seller trends. Okay, what's that?
So we often focus on the absolute lowest BSRs, right? The established hits.
Yeah, makes sense.
But seller trends shows you what's newly gaining traction. Designs where the BSR has improved a lot really quickly.
Ah, so you can spot rising trends early.
Exactly. It's like catching a wave just as it's forming. For a newer seller, maybe jumping on a smaller but rapidly growing trend is smarter than fighting in a super crowded top seller niche.
That makes a lot of sense. So seller trends sounds like it could be a bit of a gold mine for finding those up-and-comers.
Potentially, yeah. It shows that BSR, improvement percentage, listings, views, they gave examples like a Mardi Gras unicorn design that popped off.
Right, timely.
And happy 100th day of school shirts, same idea.
And you can click into individual designs.
Yep. See the details, BSR history, price history, the keywords they're using, both short and long tail. There's even a copy button for keywords.
Ooh, handy. But be careful with trademarks, I assume.
Absolutely. The presenter stressed that, and it's crucial. Always, always do your own trademark check. Don't just copy keywords blindly.
Got it. What else can you see on those individual designs?
You can see similar designs and also other stuff the same seller has listed gives you a fuller picture of what's working for them.
Okay.
And filtering these trends by newest within, say, a 1-week time frame. That lets you see very recent successes, things that are just starting to take off.
Wow, okay. That seems powerful. Then there was the deleted designs tab. Sounds a bit scary.
Maybe a little. But it's actually really important for account health. It shows designs Amazon recently took down.
Why would you want to see that?
To understand why things get removed, you see patterns, maybe realize something you've designed is too close to the line regarding content policies. It's a way to learn from others' mistakes, basically, and protect your own account.
Okay, that makes sense. Proactive learning. What about POD inspiration?
Yeah, that was interesting. It expands the search beyond just Merch by Amazon, lets you look for keyword ideas on Etsy, Pinterest, Spreadshirt, other platforms.
Cross-platform research.
Exactly. Sometimes a style or concept is big on Etsy, but hasn't really hit MBA yet. It's a way to find fresher ideas. They showed searching Mardi Gras on Etsy US or fishing designs on Spreadshirt. You might find unique angles.
Cool. And the events calendar. Seems pretty self-explanatory, but useful.
Very useful for planning ahead. It flags upcoming holidays, events, celebrations, gives you related keywords, sometimes design examples.
You can get a jump on things like Black History Month or Chinese New Year.
Precisely. Plan your designs in advance. It has an upcoming view and links directly to Amazon searches for those terms, which streamlines the process.
Nice. And there was a Keyword Trends tab, too.
Yep. Shows trending keyword combinations for specific marketplaces and date ranges.
So, like, what pairs of words are people searching for right now?
Kind of. The example was keywords trending just 2 days before relating to Valentine's Day, so it gives you that timely insight into search behavior.
Gotcha. And lastly, Google Trends integration.
Yeah, you can access Google Trends from within the tool. It helps gauge broader public interest in topics.
Okay.
Now, the presenter did caution that a lot of top Google Trends might be official, trademarked events or characters, so you still need to be careful. But it can help spot non-trademarked cultural trends, too. Again, though, always check trademarks yourself.
Always check trademarks. Got it.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Mm-hmm. And they briefly mentioned some other tools in there, too. Trademarks, keyword editor, listing creator. Suggests it's aiming to be a pretty comprehensive suite.
Okay, so Merch Dominator. Sounds like a really useful tool, maybe even free for now. Lots of angles to explore there.
Definitely potential there.
But like you said, having the tool isn't everything. You need a strategy, right?
Yeah.
And that brings us to the second source, the strategy for scaling, targeting predictable demand.
Right. This strategy is really about anticipating seasonal trends. It's especially relevant if you're on a lower merch tier, maybe tier 100, tier 1000, where you have limited upload slots.
Okay, so you need to make each upload count.
Precisely. The idea is to get ahead of the curve, figure out where the big demand will be, and get your relevant designs up early.
And Google Trends plays a big part in figuring that out.
Yes, the video creator really pushed using Google Trends for prioritizing. They showed a great example comparing April trends over the last 5 years.
What were they comparing?
Things like Easter shirts, autism awareness shirts, 420 shirts, Military Kids Day, Earth Day shirts.
Okay, quite a mix.
And by looking at the 5-year search interest data on Google Trends,
Let me guess. Easter was the biggest.
by a significant margin, yeah. It showed much higher search interest historically.
So the data tells you where the biggest potential audience is likely to be.
Exactly. And even looking just year over year, comparing things like Earth Day, autism awareness, and 420 shirts, Earth Day seemed to have more traction in the last year's data.
So for someone on, say, tier 10 with only 10 slots, the advice is?
Focus on the biggest projected trend first. Maximize your chances with the largest wave.
Makes sense. Data-driven decisions. Then they connected this back to Merch Dominator, right, using it within that chosen niche.
Yes, exactly. Bring it full circle. So you use Google Trends to pick your battle, say, Easter. Then you go back to Merch Dominator's best sellers function for MBA and KDP.
Okay.
And here's that crucial step again. Use the advanced filters to weed out the big brands before you search for Easter.
Right. Filter first, then search.
So you see what independent sellers are succeeding with in the Easter niche right now, ranked by BSR.
And they went through a ton of examples from that Easter search.
Yeah, and the commentary was really insightful, practical stuff, like the warning about Peeps possibly being trademarked, a personal recommendation to avoid it, but good advice.
What kind of designs were working?
All sorts. A neon retro watercolor bunny with sunglasses, maybe something you could try with AI now. A Chicks Dig Me design with a chick and an egg. Simple, classic.
Okay.
There was an Easter bunny in a hoodie, but the presenter questioned if it felt Eastery enough. Highlighted the need for clear thematic elements, or at least Easter colors. And text helps with SEO, too.
Right. Helps people find it. What about religious themes? Easter has that strong element, too.
Definitely. Designs like He is Risen,
Mm.
with the Bible verse, Matthew 28.6 were showing up,
Oh, yeah.
suggest potential in combining general consumer themes with specific religious messages.
Interesting. Any other standouts?
The Happy Easter monster truck design.
Monster truck.
Yeah, great example of niching down for SEO.
Wow.
Someone searching Easter monster truck shirt is very specific. Good SEO and some initial sales help you climb Amazon's algorithm. Might be worth checking youth sizes for things like that.
Good tip.
And He is Risen popped up again, reinforcing its popularity.
Okay.
Simple text designs, too, like, I can't, but I know a guy, with a cross made you think about the target audience maybe making key elements bigger for impact.
Right, design choices matter.
Then combinations, a game controller with bunny ears and eggs, great cross-niche appeal, good SEO potential, like Easter gaming shirt.
Clever. What else?
Let's see. A bunny with messy hair and glasses, one with 8-bit pixel glasses, some humor like bitten chocolate bunnies saying, "Where'd you guys go when my butt hurts?"
Mhm.
Designs targeting specific people like egg hunt supervisor for parents, more cross-niching. A lot can happen in 3 days, he has risen. Some cheeky ones like, "Guess who's back? Jesus doing the wink and the thumbs up." Yeah, quite the rain.
Notice a trend of bunny faces with sunglasses. Also, Happy Easter Bruh with a dabbing bunny. Combining elements again. Easter bunny monster truck dabbing with a basket.
Dabbing monster truck bunnies. Okay.
Plays on lyrics. Hip-hop, the hippie to the hip-hop. Playful words. Egosaurus with Easter eggs. More religious niche. Photorealistic Jesus with crown of thorns. Cross-niching popular themes. Gnomes with Easter elements.
Gnomes are everywhere.
And more humor. Jesus, YOLO, JK, BRB. And interestingly, an AI-generated bunny chewing gum design was doing well despite being a recent upload. Suggests Amazon might favor fresh content sometimes.
Good to know. And more religious. Jesus loves you, we love each other because he loved us first, with the verse.
So a huge variety, but these were all bestsellers, right?
Yeah.
BSR under 100K.
Yeah, and crucially, this was before the absolute peak Easter buying season, so they were already proven sellers with room to grow.
And the strategy involves tagging relevant sub-niches.
That's a reason, yeah. Helps discoverability. But again, avoid trademark terms like the plague.
Got it. Check trademarks. Create original designs. Think about why someone buys this specific shirt.
Exactly. The presenter mentioned just listing ideas in a notepad in the past. It's about generating concepts based on what's working.
And the goal isn't a 100% success rate for uploads, right?
No, definitely not. They mentioned aiming for maybe 20–30% of uploads getting sales and hoping for a few to become real bestsellers.
And what about designs that don't sell?
Delete them after the season. Free up those valuable slots for the next trend, like Cinco de Mayo or Mother's Day coming up after Easter. It's a continuous cycle.
Okay, constant refinement.
Yeah. And the presenter was pretty clear. This strategy worked for them for years, and they believe it's still solid today. Act on the Google Trends data, use Merch Dominator for the deep dive research.
It seems like a really practical way to approach it rather than just throwing spaghetti at the wall.
I think so. It provides structure.
So let's wrap this up. What are the big takeaways here?
Well, this deep dive really shows the potential, I think, of combining free or accessible tools like Google Trends and maybe Merch Dominator, using them together to find these potentially profitable print-on-demand niches. The strategy of focusing on that predictable seasonal demand.
Right, using Google Trends to see what's historically popular.
Yeah, prioritizing based on data, and then analyzing what's already selling well within those specific niches, using something like Merch Dominator's bestseller research.
And finally, creating your own original designs based on those insights.
It really offers a clear, actionable path forward, especially if you feel a bit lost in all of the options.
So for you listening, the key points are: check out tools like Merch Dominator for research, use Google Trends smartly to pick your seasonal battles, and then dive deep into bestseller analysis within those chosen niches. It's a way to get practical knowledge and hopefully spot real opportunities without feeling overwhelmed.
And that kind of leads to a final thought, doesn't it? Something for you to consider.
Go for it.
With all the data we have access to now, Google Trends, tools like Merch Dominator showing near real-time sales ranks, how much of an edge could you get by consistently applying these research methods? You know, combining that high-level view from Google Trends with the really granular detail of what's selling right now in a niche. If you do that consistently, strategically, could that give you a significant sustainable advantage in this constantly changing print-on-demand world?
That's a really interesting question to ponder. Definitely something to think about as you explore these tools and strategies yourself.